You now tuned into the sounds of Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the next big thing, the latest up-and-coming sports journalist, your host, Nathan Snell.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. This is episode 6 of the podcast, season 17. In this episode, we're talking about the Maryland women's basketball team. But before we get into that, there's a few things I want to say up front. Painfully, we just finished recording the Washington Commanders. That's all I'm going to talk about. And after this episode's done, I have special guests coming on as we're getting ready to play. We're going to get ready to go to Cancun and get ready for the Cancun Challenge, Maryland women's basketball team. But in this episode, we are recapping the win against Syracuse. We will recap Maryland football losing to Michigan, and then Maryland's men's basketball team getting a what I felt was a get right win. But even though it was against UMBC, we will be recapping that game, and we will be getting ready for the Chargers, the Ravens. So please continue to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast. Maryland. First and foremost, after 13 years, I'm just going to just get it out the way. After 13 years, we fell out of the AP poll. We have been ranked every week since 2010. And after the loss to UConn, we did not make the AP poll top 25. Try to find my clip. Anywho, I can't. Here we go.
Oh my God.
It's disappointing. We were the first team out. I think we got 48 points, if I'm saying that correctly. Mississippi State, they received 55 points, and they were ranked 25. We had 251 straight polls. That's the second longest streak behind UConn. And that was the 6th longest streak in history. In the first 4 games, especially against now number 1 South Carolina, and now then number 6 UConn. And some of I give up 114 points against South Carolina. That's the most points given up. And then turned around and we just looked different against UConn. I mean, and especially in the second half, we were not good from the field, and we really weren't. It just gave South Carolina. So those two losses hurt. Now going into coming into the Syracuse game, where I feel like this can be a reset. I mean, the next ranked opponent we won't play is until the new year, and that is number 15 ranked Ohio State. So let's talk about the win against Syracuse. The Maryland Lady Terps defeated the number 20 ranked Syracuse 83-81. I think this was a much needed win. First and foremost, let's give Syracuse their flowers. This is a good Syracuse team. They had us on our toes for the most part. They made us work for it. When you look at this Maryland team, coming after a loss to the UConn, we kind of figured what it would look like, and they did pretty much that. We didn't do too well on the offensive boards, but we did pretty well on the glass. We had 41 rebounds, especially on the offensive side of the ball. As the game progressed, we picked up pace on both sides of the ball. Our four-court press, I call it the Brenda special. We forced second. We had second half turnovers because we had 19 points off turnovers in those last two quarters, and then painfully, the third quarter, especially where Deisha Fair hit 2 threes to give us the Orange a 7-point lead, and it just I don't know what happened after that, and then. I think especially, I think we're calling that timeout, and I think kind of regrouping them, I think, was key. Then they won that 8-0 run. We took the lead before the end of the third quarter. Georgia Worley was a pain in our side for the entire game. She had 21 points, and she was 7-16 from the field. It wasn't just her scoring. I mean, she found backdoor cutters, especially on the baseline, had 3 assists. That was different. That was different. Bree McDaniel was the MVP. She poked the ball out before they get a shot up, but also too, let's give Lavender Briggs credit on that play too. She played some great defense to force that turnover as well. So I definitely want to give her flowers on that. Ali Kubek. Especially just coming off the injury she had this year, got to give her some love. I mean, finished with 23 points, 71% shooting from the field. She was definitely a drop-off option to the guards, especially going into the paint, especially at Cheyenne Sellers. Her defense on the stretch played a role. She had 19 points. She definitely made up for it, especially going to the free throw line, 7 of 7, 8 rebounds, 5 steals. They looked pretty good. I'm going to reiterate this until I'm blue in the face. This team, I really can't. It's not fair to criticize them until really when the new year starts, because this is a team that's still gelling. Like they're experiencing a learning curve with new players. Jakia Brown-Turner, example. You've got Riley Nelson, Emily Fisher, Hawa, like they're learning, and then Ali Kubek, Emma, like they're learning. Like you have to give them time. I mean, yes, the shot selection and floor spacing, was it pretty? No, but it got better. I mean, sure, we did shoot 30%. From 3 in the first half, and then we shot 20 in the second half. That'll get better. I'm not going to panic on that. I do feel at times is that we have to be better when communicating. There's no excuse. Like if I see Brittany Alexander on the wing and she's open and she's calling for the ball, pass her the damn ball. Like that's not brain science. It's not rocket science. Like, come on now. There's still some things that we got to work out, especially like again, like Hawaii. She had some meaningful minutes, and I think especially with her and Ali Kubek, they're going to do some great things. For me, I still feel as though going into the game, there's some things I will say we got to work on. The second quarter, that really was when I look back at the film, that's what stood out to me. We couldn't do anything at all. When I say anything, we only scored 11 points. We were 4-20 from the field, and the 5-3 attempts that we took, we didn't make a single one.
I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
And then Brenda, I agree with the analysis. They did look fatigued. We settled for too many shots. You know, we're shooting. I don't understand why we're shooting early into the shot clock. You know, we're not running set plays. It just that's and I don't know if it's, you know, we're still learning the system. You know, are we still kind of adjusting to the season? I don't understand that, and that's kind of frustrating to look at. And I thought especially I couldn't find anything in the tape. I mean, just had like Cheyenne Sellers had 3 points in the second quarter. I mean, that came in the last second and one bucket. But I thought when Brenda put Hawaii in there, I still think the defensive lapses just weren't helping. I mean, Syracuse spaced the floor. They found success not just inside the paint, but in the mid range. I mean, defensively, they were almost at one point up damn near 20 points, and that cannot.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
You know, also too, you know, I think the adjustments we made, and also in the third quarter, I thought at times, you know, we looked good, and then all of a sudden it kind of went away. I think the same thing, fatigue. We did give up some lapses, but we went on that 8 run. I think that's when things started to change. For me, I really, really felt as though Bree McDaniel was the spark plug. I mean, I really followed her since she started last year. It's just something about just seeing the growth in her game. Like, and shout out to Reva. She posted this tweet, especially when Kareem Copeland posted a tweet, you know, in the post game. It's about advocating for yourself. Like, coach, you know, what am I doing wrong? You know, what are the things I need to work? And I just see somebody that, you know, is just doing all the right things. I mean, quickness, grit. I mean, toughness. I mean, especially when she allowed her to steal, and you know she's guarded Daisha Fair. You know, she took the task of guarding their best player, and she wasn't afraid of that moment. Especially Daisha Fair, who's averaging 20 a game. I mean, matched her from stride to stride. She limited her 14 points. I mean, I saw relentless hustle. I saw diving on the floor. You know, especially in playing the point guard. I think for me, that's what I like to see. Ali Kubek, 23 points, and give her time. Now, personally, for me, coming into this game, I would like to see some adjustments. I think, and it's no shade, I would like Faith to come off the bench. I think she'd be great for the energy for the second unit. I think Bree should be our point guard. Cheyenne Sellers, I think, is more of a 2 guard. I think Lav and Nay have got to touch the ball more. There's just no reason. The ball should be touching more than 3 hands. We should be giving Nay, like I said, Lav should be getting like 15, should get like 15 shots. Nay should get 16, 17 shots. I think that's just no excuse, at times where we're not looking off on players. We're not, that was just disappointing looking at the film. I thought the fourth quarter was key. The momentum, especially, started with Shine Sellers. Our offense it picked up. It's something we didn't see in the last two games, unfortunately. Yeah, there were some missed shots, but especially with the Brenda special and second chance points, we out-rebounded them, especially, like I said, the win was on the offensive side of the boards. That 10-1 run that was started by Ali Kubek, that was key. And that's probably one of their best fourth quarter performances, especially them driving to the basket. Then that forced them into foul trouble, Syracuse, and they made all 6 of their free throws in the fourth quarter. But again, 10 rebounds in the third quarter. I mean, they did get to the free throw line once, but only committed 3 turnovers. And again, I think their energy showed up when it mattered, but also I think kind of rallying them and saying, look, we got this. And I think the second half was key. I think they were a better team in the second half than they were in the first half. And hey, look, give Syracuse credit. I mean, they battled, and I think they're going to be a good team as season progressed. But I think this was a definitely good win for Maryland. I'm excited to see how they look in Cancun. But I'm not mad at it. Was it an ugly win? Yes. But they did enough to get the victory. And that's a win in my book any day of the week. But particularly this offense, there's things we got to clean up, and it'll get better over time. So before we get into one final thought, let's get into the sponsor of Big Need Sports Talk podcast, and that is Zagnif Apparel. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to dress like you're already famous? You can and you will with Zagnif Apparel. You will dress like you're already famous.
The following is a presentation of Zagnif Productions, LLC. Introducing Zagnif Apparel. Our comfortable line of leisure wear and athletic wear will have you comfortable and stylish at any occasion. Whether you're at the gym, out shopping, or just relaxing at home. Whether you're an athlete or just want to lay around the house, we've got the perfect outfit for you. Stop by our website today and pick up your favorite pieces. Zagnif Apparel. Dress like you're already famous.
You can and you will dress like you're already famous with a nice 15% off using my discount code for your final purchase. Big Nate for 15% off. Thank you to Zagnif Apparel for being a sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking this commercial break, and then we'll get right into final thought. Oh, we're back. Sorry, that's me. Let's get into one final thought.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize them.
One final thought is just with this team this year. Look, I'm not panicking. This Maryland women's basketball team will be fine. Let's give them time. I mean, patience is a virtue. Was I disappointed with some things that I saw while watching the game? Yes. But again, learning from Mike Tebow and other coaches, looking back at the film, it gives you more of a different perspective because I feel like there's just too much emotion to give an instant reaction after a game. There were positives I could take away from this. Like, again, a lot of people need to understand this. Allie Kent's coming off Allie, for example, is coming off an ACL injury. Let's give her time. Emma is coming off an injury. Her development is going to be key. Riley Nelson, Emily Fisher, Hawa, Summer Bostic, they need time. And some of it, I feel as though, the season last year, getting the Elite Eight, I know the people don't have their expectations, but you got to give them time. And I feel like some of the criticisms that they've gotten is not right. Like, we shouldn't be at this point in the season where we're already going to proclaim somebody's going to transfer. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, after 4 games, are you serious? Like, calm down with all that. Like, these girls will be fine. Like I said, I'm not going to judge this team until the new year. I think that's fair because our next true ranked opponent is Ohio State, and that's when in the next year. So this team will be fine. This is a great win. This is a get right game. They're getting ready for Cancun. I hope they have a safe flight, and take it from there. So, no, they should already have been. They should be there by now. But yeah, that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So, that's going to conclude this episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I'm going to record episode 7. That will be in tomorrow's video. Actually, today is Wednesday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday evening. So you'll see the next episode recorded for tomorrow, as I have a special guest on that episode 7. Please like, comment, and subscribe to all future content of the podcast. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. And you can catch me on MarylandSportsBlog.com. I know I've been behind on getting an article out there. I will have an article up. I'll have it up Thursday morning tops. And also, we'll have all the episodes uploaded. I know we are tremendously behind on getting them uploaded to Spotify via Anchor and Apple Podcasts. So thank you for all the support you're giving me in this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will catch you all on the flip side. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Stay up.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share The Next Big Thing, the next up-and-coming sports journalist, Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
I want to thank you, yeah. I want to thank you. Ooh. For all the times you put up with me. Thank you. And you helped me retain my sanity. Thank you. I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you for everything you do.